had the great good fortune to be introduced to a couple of really good-looking movie stars, both male and female. And being broke and ambitious and all, and an artist, I asked them one thing: how did you get all that money? You know, leave the haircut and everything alone. So they've been showing me different things to do, and they're movie stars, so they got all sorts of odd and unusual things that worked for them. For example, one woman told me what she started to do is printing stuff. She was printing and printing and printing. So I got paper to print, and I'm printing and I'm printing, and finally I was scared because I don't have that much money. So I'm printing, and I have really nice images. I have to tell you, some of them came out really nice. And meanwhile, as I'm printing, I'm looking at the wall, and there I have my jewelry collection, which is for sale. How are you going to sell jewelry when you're in a convent? I mean, they don't wear jewelry. No one does. If they're not a nun, and they're not a sister, they're acting like them, and they don't want it. So I have all this great jewelry, and I'm using it to, I'm going to display it on my wall. And how am I going to sell it? It's nice jewelry. It was given to me by people who wanted to give it to someone to see if I could do with it. You know, you remember like the opera La Boheme, where the woman, she gives her jewelry to the doctor so that he could give medical care for a dying. Yeah, well, you know, I can't sell my jewelry with them. I can't do anything, but I certainly could collect it. I have tons of it, and nice ones. So finally I said I might as well put it on the wall. But what am I going to do? How am I going to break the condition of poverty? I really don't know. I was actually writing about it. I wrote about it several times, and I'm going through my blogs, and I'm looking at it. What I feel as I'm reading it even, or I think about poverty and budgeting and poor things, is shame. I feel a great amount of shame. They say that victims, when they're attacked, one of the first things that they feel is shame. And it's the same thing with people who are abused financially. And I feel this. This is a very, very strong emotion, and it's hard to get rid of. Mostly what I want to do is put the article down. Like, I really can't stand to read it and go to something else. But finally I got the ability to just look at it. I'm organizing my blogs into good categories. And I sat down and I read what I was writing. Even to me, it seems small. But you have to start somehow. And right now I just kind of put away my work. I was organizing, filing again, and printing again, and looking at the jewelry again. And now I'm on my way for a good long walk. It's raining outside, so I'd like to go downtown in the inner city. It's pretty big, and you can just stretch your legs and just kind of look. Because I'm really not in the mood to stop to go to the local coffee shop. So I'm going to go downtown, and I think I'm going to speak as I'm going to walk. Because I used to take my camera, but people, they don't like to be seen. They don't like to be filmed. You know, you never know when you're going to meet someone who's important, or a celebrity in the movies who just wants to be left alone, or it's dangerous. And I've been told several times not to film people. So it's good to maybe just talk into the microphone, since I talk to myself anyways, and see what comes out. I wonder if I'm going to be able to listen to it. It's going to take years before I listen to it because of shame. Well, I'm right now at the bus stop, at my corner, and I'm going to sign off now, and I'll catch you again when I'm downtown. Speak to you soon. Kathy Fabian, signing off. So this is Kathy Vivian Fabian. On May 1st, it's raining outside, and I've been working pretty hard on my filing. What I did is I had a great big file of collages. I do a lot of collages, and I wanted to, it was getting larger and larger and larger, so I decided to split it up into several sections. I have a Montreal collection for stuff around the city. I have a Muse collection for beautiful women. I have vision boards, which focus on the world that I would love to be in. And the Montreal collection, I have a small part for the winter section. These are the things I remember. So I was doing that. I also have a large project. I have all my photographs that I've been printing out, and now I'm going to have to organize them. I've got these lovely, beautiful black binders. They're really sharp. You can put your card in there. Presentation binders are called. So I have those, and now they're put in. I'm making them in sets. You know, like they could be. I have, like, for example, a peacock on one side and a peacock feather on the other side, and I'll have 10 to 15 prints of each one of them. So I have about well, I think right now 20 of them so far, maybe less. They're getting thick there, and I have the business card in there, and I have to put some text in it, like what I'm going to put what on the left and the right side what there is. I have all sorts of subjects. I have jewelry pictures. It's the jewelry collection. I think I'm going to call it. It used to be called Poor Artist Jewels, but I think I like it better, the title Ambitions Jewels. And then there's the Montreal collection for things about the city and the inner city. And there's the Muses collection. Most of us started off with musicians again. And there's another problem. There's a question of copyright issues. I want to get rid of all the stuff that I might have a problem with the copyright and put it somewhere, archive it, so that I can actually contact the people, the powers that be, to get the proper permission. I listened to a great lecture by someone from the Small Business Association, and they said it's good to rather be safe than sorry. You have all sorts of horror stories about copyrights, is that you do all this work on your work, and you print it out, you spend all this money, and then somebody claims that there's a copyright issue, and you lose all the money and the work as well. So that's in the cards. I've been trying to take off the stuff that I don't have a copyright for a blogger, but no, I can't take my stuff, which is good, because I think I'm just going to be working on organizing. I did a really nice organizing job on Unfound Treasures, which is a WordPress blog, and it looks really nice. And the categories are hard. You have to really write them. I don't really know how to phrase what I want so that it gets a large amount of articles without being too much in there. Okay, the bus has stopped. I'm now at the metro station, and I'll catch you again when I start my walk downtown. Okay, this is Kathy Vivian Fabian. I'm right now in the inner city. I'm at, where am I? Coeur Royale. I was just thinking about coffee. You know, I don't like to have just a plain coffee, so I was sitting next to this guy. He was standing next to the guy who was ordering his coffee in a local coffee shop. He asked for the best coffee, so they gave him everything. You know, it was the whipped milk, and it had the whipped cream, and it had all the marshmallows and all these fluffy little candies, and there was all sorts of special, like, fresh maple syrups and everything. And it came, and it was large and big, and it had, like, the whipped cream came on the top. And he says, "I can't eat this." Why? Because it's too sweet. I can't eat this. There's too much sugar. I'll die. And I was thinking to myself, okay, because I just found out, you know, about 4 minutes before, you're supposed to have a maximum of 30 grams of sugar a day. Which, all these drinks, they're so, the nice ones, most of them have all this sugar. So I was surprised. But, you know, I was looking at him, I didn't say anything. I don't know him. Okay, what are we going to do now? Because it seems if you want to have an expensive coffee, you have to all sorts of kinds of sugary things. I don't know if they're calorific, but the sugar you have to watch too. It's a drag, you know, because you have to watch both the sugar and the calories, and by that time, there's not all this fancy stuff. I mean, it's a little bland. What I like is maybe the flat white, but they don't have many really nice things. Because I don't know, everything with sugar is also fancy. Yeah, like I'm looking here at the espresso too. Caffeine I don't have. They have like all different levels. It looks like a chocolate parfait. Oh well. So I'm going to go for a walk in the inner city. It's raining outside. And I'm going to talk about what I've been doing. First of all, what happened is I started doing some really nice pictures, portraits, still lives of jewelry. Talking about the jewelry collection. I'm getting focused on the jewelry, so see if I can somehow sell it. So I'm concentrating. So I started taking pictures of it, and then I was working with digitally changing it in colors. It turned out really nice. So I said, okay, good. I want to create a slideshow. I'm watching all the time these slideshows with the voiceover, the audio. So I thought the first thing I have to do, I have to maybe go to SlideShare. And I went there and I found that they talked about PowerPoint's the one that you get the slideshow with the voice. So I went over there and I started doing it, and I realized that I didn't know how to do it right away, but I had also started a PowerPoint on my Art for Power project. So I put aside the jewelry and I went to finish the PowerPoint presentation portfolio on my Art as a Present collection, which it turned out pretty nice. It's almost finished, not quite. I don't have the voice for it, but it was a lot more done than the jewelry. And when I was finished, as the God says, God rested and he was pleased. So I was rested, I was pleased, and it was I'm supposed to have I give myself a challenge that every month to send out an e-letter to my mailing list. It happened to be on the 30th of April, and I hadn't sent out the letter yet for April. So I said, why don't I go and use the portfolio. As luck would have it, the portfolio wasn't finished. And what happened? I went to see what I was doing. I finally went on to Unfound Treasures, which is a blog that I write on of still lives. Still lives of objects that I surround myself. And I decided that it just kind of hit me. I didn't have much time. So I combined 3 projects together. I had the MailChimp letter, which would include in there a summary, a Sway summary, which would be a Sway interactive installation, and the Sway interactive installation would be a summary of the ideas behind my Unfound Treasures blog. So I just put it all together, and slowly, step by step, it worked. But I tell you, at the beginning there, I thought I wouldn't be able to finish it. I started it's raining today, so I decided to go for a walk in the inner city and just kind of look around. I like to look at shop merchandise. Even though, I don't have that much money, it's always nice to look at it, even though it's seductive. And I didn't want to, like, if I go to my community, mostly what I'll do is make a beeline for the coffee shop. And I want to have some, kind of a more stretch my legs, maybe not so concentrate on the food there. I'm passing right by the little food court. It's quite big in the complex Les Eye, which have all sorts of nice little restaurants. It changes all the time. They have something, it's not called an Armenian pizza there, but it has vegetarian pizzas. It's very good is the I like is the one with the zucchini. But I think they have, what is that? Mexican food. I wanted to go for Mexican food last week. I found that a lot of the restaurants, used to be restaurants with Mexican food all over, and lots of them are closed down. But the Complex Design has one, and where I went, I knew they had one at Place des Arts because I always pass it. So that's where I went. Next time I'll try here. Indian is covered. They have the Eden Sense Indian and all sorts of things from the Orient. You have like Thai and Vietnamese and the Indian, and you have they have something really nice. Is a place that actually creates fresh ramen noodles, and it makes it from scratch. Just like I saw a movie a long time ago where they were doing it in Italy. They made the pasta from scratch, but he's making the ramen from scratch. Wow, which was really cool. I was watching him. I ordered it once. I had a really good time. I came back the next day. As usual, it was too much pasta. But it's really nice. I had the shrimp one. It's good. Both were tasted good. It's just pastas, to me, I find it pretty heavy. They have a kind of a pasta they have in, there's a little health store right near me called Rochelle Berry. It's made of a vegetable plant, and it's 25 calories. 25 calories is pretty damn good for pasta. It's made of some sort of special vegetable plant, and it tastes okay. It tastes good. I had it, I got a sauce there too. It was a fettuccine alfredo sauce made of wild mushrooms, and it was fine. So I had that yesterday, but the spaghetti, you can buy it for one portion. It's $5, which is fair. It's no TV dinner. It's not a TV dinner. So I had that yesterday. Yeah, they have the spaghetti. They have the ramen noodles. It's not Italian. It's Chinese. They have a couple of things that they have the Thai Express, which they have all sorts of nice little Thai recipes, and they have they have a teriyaki place there. I think the teriyaki place is the Ethan Center. Yeah, the teriyaki place they have, and they have what else do they have? Of course, they have aqua lunch. Aqua lunch is you have some really nice fish. What the concept behind aqua lunch is they're going to give you all a nice plate, just like you have in the fancy restaurant, at an affordable price that you have in a food court. So they got rid of all the trimmings and put a restaurant, and you can get a nice meal there for pretty under $20. And it's like a big fancy meal if you have it in a restaurant. You don't have the ambience though. But you have it's nice tasty fish. Lots of it. I have so many times that sometimes I want something different. So that's what they did. Now they moved the Bon Look. We used to have a little booth near the bay, but they moved it into a store. It looks very nice. I'm right over here. It's right next to the Engine Center. Where am I? I'm in the Montreal Trust building. So that's where I am. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take my walk. I'm going down to the Engine Center, and I'm gonna go downstairs and cut to Place Bonaventure. I started my little walk. I started my voyage on the Green Line, and I'm gonna finish up, ending up at the on the Orange. And then I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna stop. No, I'm gonna go home. I have some chicken left over. I'm gonna have just a chicken sandwich. We have scrambled eggs for supper, and I'm not. It's not my favorite dish. When the scrambled eggs, and that's one that I don't like, and also the macaroni with tomato sauce. These are two things that I try to find something else to do. Third one is sometimes maybe I squeak by with the breakfast sausage, but again, it's not something I prefer to. I prefer to see if I can rustle up something else myself. Yeah, I'm always cheered up downtown with the lovely colors. If you wonder why I'm pausing once in a while at the wrong time, my screen keeps on blacking out. I keep on thinking it's turned off, but no, it works. I'm working on my iPod, and I'm glad I kept it. I have my iPod, and it has all sorts of. There's a nice little program on there that I can't get on my other phone, which this is an iPod, which is not a phone. I want to maybe stop somewhere, and I'll work on a little bit on working, and I have a program on my iPod that does some really nice frames, some unusual frames. So I'm going to see if I could maybe stop somewhere and get a drink or something. I don't know, or something to eat, and work on the iPod, work on the frames. I have them copied from my phone to it. It took a while because if you to use this program, you need to have the code number for it, and I keep on forgetting the code number. So finally I got it. So I'm all ready to work on my stuff and try this framing app to see if I can get my maybe even my jewelry nice. I've been working with that. I've been working with pixelating. Pixelating is a sharp little program, and I've been really working on some wild pixelating. So I'd like to see how I can do it, how I can improve it, the image with some creative framing. I don't know. As usual, it's a risk, but a risk you don't, it's free. It's all paid for, so there's nothing. I could try it, and if I make a mistake, I don't have the original copy. So the problem with the frames is some of them, I like them, they're nice, but some of them are kind of like, to me, maybe old-fashioned. I don't know. I have to see. Some of the results I've had in the past are nice, and some of them are okay. And some of them I don't know if they work, if they're contemporary or what or not. So here I am. I'm at the end of the Eaton Center. I'm looking at the Globo, and they look like they have some really nice bags. I would like to find an it bag, a great big bag, so I could put both my small purse into my big bag if I want to. Because right now I have two purses, two small ones, and it's annoying when I sit down to eat. I'm going to stop off and check out the Globo, and I'll get back to you. Kathy Vivian Fabian signing off.